Inspired by sound.
If you know anything about me, you'll know that I love MIDI drums. In particular, and I haven't had access to them for a long time because I switched from Windows to Mac and, well, they weren't accessible on Mac for a while. I now am the proud owner of Addictive Drums 2 by XLN Audio. I'm using them inside of Komplete Kontrol. And right now, that is what you're hearing. This is the Modern Soul R&B Dirty Snare kit. I have got some favorites here. But this is the kit that I have come up with that I kind of like. It is dirty. Everything about it is kind of dirty, but that's kind of the fun of it for me. It does allow me quite a lot of freedom of expression. The layout is very different than your conventional MIDI drums. If you're used to MIDI drums, here would be your hi-hat normally on the F sharp, but instead Addictive have come up with their own layout. It gives you a lot of control over hi-hat levels and cymbals, and you can choke them unlike a lot of other kits. So this is going to be a very short inspired by sound, a bit like the early videos. I'm just going to show you either this one or just a very small handful of kits. And by the way, if the angle is a bit wrong on this, I apologize, or if it's too dark. It's been ages since I've done this, and my little magnetic phone stand could well have moved since last I set this up, and probably has as well. So, I'm going to play a little bit to you and tell you why I like it. Well, first of all, why do I like it over other things? It's not necessarily over other things, but I like the feel of the layout. I like the fact that there are a lot of choices for snare. After the bass drum, where you normally would have that sound on the C sharp, you actually get snares immediately. And there's a lot of stuff going on here. You can hear there's like percussion and all sorts. And a reason I like this particular kit is because normally, or at least on a lot of Addictive kits, there's a cowbell here, but in this case it's actually a clap. So I can do things like this. So having this offbeat clap, you're playing the clap slightly late, or even slightly early in some cases, gives it a nice funky business feel. And depending on how I play the kit, it can do all sorts of wonderful things to, the way I feel about it. And I've literally sat here and played this probably straight for 45 minutes non-stop. I'm not going to do that on this video or anything like that, but I just want to talk about a bit of Addictive and the kind of functionality that it has, and I enjoy it. So, we've already talked about some of the snares. So, for example, your D&E snare are the same, which means you can roll on them easy. But where it really comes into its own, actually, is the G snare. Because I use this with my index finger. So I use the little finger for bass drum work. And this has made my little finger very strong, actually, for playing bass drums. Because on a normal GM layout, I wouldn't have to do that. I'd use the second finger, so ring finger if you will. But you see, in this case, doing ghost notes on the D&E snare doesn't feel natural and doesn't sound natural on Addictive kits. But doing on the G snare, more natural, more feeling. And on the C sharp and E flat snares, they're the same, the hard edge of the snare. So you can, for example, you could use those for doubles, flams, or for the final hit that you would want. I mean, you can also play them on the D&E, but they don't sound as powerful and as hard hitting. So, for example, same kind of ghost note idea, using G as ghost note, but I use D or E as my snare of choice instead of the, and you'll hear the difference. Now I switch back to the C sharp or the E flat as my choice, and because they're the same, they're interchangeable. So that's the difference, you see, and that's why I like all the snare choices. Now, one key I haven't talked about is the F, which is even more hard-hitting than the E flat and the C sharp keys. And I use them for that kind of thing. Trying to explain that is difficult. You just have to hear it. Anytime you hear that, it's the F snare. So I've got a lot of things going on two-handed here. Even I get it wrong. It's something I'm working on. Kind of like I don't even know. It's a beginning of something or a fill of something. But the kind of idea is to keep that hi-hat going and do other things around it, but I'm having trouble. I'll turn the mic down, you can have a listen to me practicing, trying to do this right. Maybe you'll understand what I'm going, or what I could do to better my fingering here. But it's just not quite working as I want. As soon as I remove the hi-hat from the equation, I can do it because I use two other fingers to do it. But as soon as I keep the hi-hat going, it gets all messed up. So what can I do to better that? I think I understand what's happening because it's changing, interchanging, isn't it? That's the beat. If I do it on every beat, it's fine, but yeah. I can't understand why it's not working, but anyway, this is not it's just one of those things. But yeah, this is some of the stuff that's doable with Addictive versus other kits that I have, Superior, Abbey Road, that sort of thing, and why I always liked it. And I was playing Addictive back in 2007, and even then I thought, wow, what an amazing set of kits. And I lost touch with them, moving to the Mac, and accessibility was a key factor. I wasn't going to get something I couldn't use, and then a friend of mine in Italy came out with ways for me to use them on the Komplete Kontrol keyboard, and now I have lots of kits. I've got a lot of ad packs here, and I'm not done buying yet, but there was a sale, and I had to get it on in the sale. So, yeah, literally. Can't say I don't like Addictive. For the curious as well, after your C sharp E flat deal, you have the rim shot on the F sharp, but it's moved from the C sharp. So if you're comparing to GM, that's where your open hi-hat would be. And here's a cymbal where the close hi-hat would be. I'm an idiot. Open hi-hat is usually on the B flat, but that's where a cymbal is in this case. The middle of the three keys, black keys, is your A flat, and that's where your pedal hi-hat would be, which moved down to here, which is C. So it's a completely different layout. Toms are up here. And it depends, because after a certain point, kit pieces wise, you start to get into territory that is non-standard. So up here would be agogos and timbales and things, but they've got the toms up. And then above the toms, you've got some foot stomps on this particular kit, sticks for the kit, and another version of the clap, which is different than the one found close to the pedal hi-hat, and then cymbals. So yeah, it's vastly different, and I like that. I quite like the changes that exist in this thing. So there we have it. I hope you found this little bit interesting. I will play you out, and then I will disappear. Some rhythms that come to my mind. If a few things break, don't worry about it. I'm just practicing and getting back up my rusty addictive chops, because I haven't played these kits in several years, and I'm just getting back into it, and I love having these available to me again, and I will see you on the next video of Inspired by Sound. Oh, by the way, if you happen to be interested in supporting the channel on Patreon, please do that. Like, subscribe, and share.